Welcome back. I'm Mimi and I am the artist behind Memory Store. If you've seen the title of this video, you probably saw that I'm making wallpapers. So I'm going to quickly just explain why I wanted to turn my art into digital products and possibly explore other areas in which I could reuse my art. So one of the reasons why I am trying to make wallpapers at the moment is mainly because I want to have a more diversified stream of products. I mostly only handle physical products right now, so most of it is sticker sheets, sticker flakes, acrylic charms, and art prints. However, due to a lot of the limitations that I have, I don't think it is very sufficient for me to constantly be creating and churning out physical products on a monthly basis. And this is because each sticker sheet takes me about almost 6 hours to complete, and I feel that just making it into a sticker sheet isn't really a good use of my time. I think spending an extra 1 to 2 hours turning it into a seamless pattern or other wallpaper print can be helpful for me to better utilize the art I already created in a more productive way so that I can sell one form of art in multiple factors. I haven't really thought about how I want to execute it yet. So by the time you're watching this video, I would have figured out that I wanted to make digital wallpapers and icons. I did not end up using any of the seamless patterns that I created initially, but I still wanted to include that process in there since I thought it would be helpful if anyone was interested. And if you're interested in making products like these, I will be also discussing the learnings and the dimensions I found were helpful while making these products, so stay tuned to the end. I should have tried to make some kind of seamless pattern of this because then I could have at least made it for the iPad because it took me so long to just do a wallpaper size. But I don't really know how to make a seamless pattern right now, but we're going to take a pause on the digital products first. And then I'm going to watch a tutorial on how to make a seamless pattern. Maybe I can make this better and improve it. Yay, I'm pretty much done. I just want to add a little bit of texture. So it has that grainy effect. I think it just adds a little bit of touch to it. And then I will add my watermark. I'm going to try to make this into my iPad wallpaper and test the sizing of it. Oh, okay, that's so cute. But it is a little busy, but I think when I turn it off, it's cute. But one thing I want to try is flipping it vertically. Oh, cute. Oh, it turned out so well. I am really happy with how the wallpaper turned out. I finally finished. That one is kind of empty. I am thinking about it for now. What I'm going to do is just export each one, crop it, and then test them out as icons and see if they work out. It's so cute. I took a nap and then I ended up continuing the icon work. That's my progress so far. I did make it very detailed, so there's so much details to go through, but I am more than 50% of the way done with the line art, and then my goal is probably just to finish the line art today, and tomorrow I can start coloring. I'm really excited for how it's turning out, and I think it would be super cute. Good morning. Yesterday I ended up coloring some of my artwork a bit. I think they look so cute so far. I'm just going to continue coloring the rest. I think I will be able to get it done today. The coloring is all done, so I have 42 completed. What I'm going to do now is erase the edges so they look like this, and that way they look a little cleaner. And then I'm going to pick background colors for them, but I'm so excited. So I just got home from work and I'm going to be working on the wallpaper and icons. I believe the last time I stopped was when I completed it and I kind of forgot about it because I had to focus on my shop update. So now that I'm done with my shop update, I can get started on working on the wallpaper. This week I'm going to be working on the icons. I don't know if these icons are available for the Android since I recently switched to it, but I think they would still make like really cute stickers regardless. We're going to continue with the cherry blossom theme. Here's the sketch I have so far. So these are the big icons and these are the small icons, and the squares are the mini icons, and then the rest is just for fun. They're not going to be any icons since they don't actually fit the size, but I thought it would be a little better than to have the same shapes over and over again, so hence why there is more variety. So I just finished watching Squid Game with my boyfriend. It was such a huge roller coaster. No spoilers, of course. But during that time, I finished most of my drawings. Here's what I have so far. For the ones with the frames, I'm going to include my mascots. And then I still have that one empty one in the middle. I don't really know what to do with it. I'm just gonna have a little more of a design session, but maybe I was thinking of like a flower bouquet. Right now it's 9:09 p.m. If I finish early, I might try to do some of the line art before I go to sleep. One thing I kind of forgot to do last time was to have like a color palette. So this time I've selected the main colors I used and dropped them here. So that way it can be a little more consistent, because I think it started off well, but near the bottom, the shades are just like slightly off. It's not very noticeable, but it bothers me a little when I color picked. These are the colors I'm going to use. I finally completed the icons and the little images for the icons. I'm going to now send these files to my laptop where I can resize and separate them out a little easier. And then once I complete that, I am going to try and set it up on my phone just to see how it looks like. I don't know if there's like an easier way. I know for the iPhone there's an app called Handy that can allow you to do this, but I don't know if it works the same way for Androids. I'm going to try and explore a little to see what I can do. New view clipboard, and that's very helpful for me to separate out the files. morning. I just woke up. I have the fan on because it's really hot in here and it's like I'm being cooked in the stove. Waiting for my landlord to install the AC later this week, so hopefully it'll be a little better. But for now, my fan is on full blast. But based on yesterday's results, it was a success. I would just say that when I did the little squares, the opacity was not perfect. So it's not very noticeable, but there are very minor white lines on top. It's not very noticeable, but it does bother me a little, so I'm going to try and fix it. So now we're going to go back to the drawing board and get it all sorted out. I'm also going to be adding these seamless patterns onto as the wallpapers. I made 4 variations. This one is including all of my mascots. This one is just Coco if you only like my bear. This is only cream. And this one is of only Eggy, so that there is enough variations for people to choose. And then I am planning to make another one with no mascot, just in case people feel that they don't really want my mascots on the wallpaper. This is how my lock screen looks like, and then this is how my screen looks like. I wanted something relatively simple, so I just had a really simple background with a little bit of a yellow aura. And then here is all of the icons I did. I used Handy, as I mentioned, to make the widgets. It's not sponsored, I just found out about them previously, so that's what I ended up using. And because all of my icons are very detailed, I think the simple background really helps. And then the lesson I learned is not to use any patterned backgrounds because it's barely really visible for me, and I think a simple background like this actually looks better. This is my lock screen right now, and this is my home screen. I decided to use the icons with a transparent background because they look like little fairies just flying around. I think next, if I were to do this again, I would make the background not have my characters and then have them like this, so it looks like they are little fairies fluttering around in the background. Overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I think it's super cute. Lastly, we have my iPad, and I use the same wallpaper. I really enjoyed this wallpaper a lot. I also use the Handy app to set my widgets and icons. Same as before, a simple background in the back, and then all of my widgets and icons are very colorful. I ended up removing this because it was showing the original icon images, which I didn't like. So now it's just like this. I think I can drag it down here if I want to. No, I can't. Okay, so I am overall really happy with how it turned out, and I think it's super cute. Overall, I learned so much from this experience of making a wallpaper that I can use across 3 different devices. I recently just reached 2,000 subscribers, so as a thank you for this new milestone, I will be putting this wallpaper available on my Ko-fi shop and Handy for free. Just check the link in my bio and you are free to download it. Please let me know how you like it, and if there are any suggestions for me, I would be happy to improve and learn how I can make my wallpapers and icons a little better. Thank you so much for watching. For the rest of the video, I will just talk about the dimensions for any artists out there who are also interested in making some wallpapers and icons. If I flip it, it maintains the focus on the character, and it was difficult to figure out, but after doing a little research, I was able to figure it out. Okay, so if you're here, you're probably here for the dimensions of all of the wallpaper and icons, and I'm going to go over it really quickly. If you use the app Handy, they will actually provide the information for you. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm trying to reference it. Again, I don't get sponsored from this app, even though I wish I did, but I just really liked using it because it was such an easy way to quickly link all of the icons to the apps, and it doesn't have like that little bar on top when you do the shortcut method. So I definitely prefer this method a lot more. So let's start with iPhone dimensions. If you search online, there are varying results. When I checked Canva, I believe they are using 1080 by 1920, and I did try to crop it in that format, but I found that it was a little too short and the phone is actually a little bit longer. It would technically still work. For future reference, I would recommend you just take a screenshot of your current latest iPhone model and then base your dimensions based off of it. Just don't leave any important details at the edges and make sure that most of your details are centered. For the app icons, I did them as 150 by 150 at 300 dpi. I believe when I researched online, it was technically only 100 by 100 pixels, but I wanted to ensure that there weren't too much blurring going on or things getting pixelated, so I decided to draw it a little bit bigger, and I tend to draw a lot of details. I'm a little bit of a maximalist, so it did come out the way I want it. On Handy, the recommended size is actually 120 by 120, so me being able to draw a little bigger really helped ensure that I didn't make it too small. Now for the widgets, I couldn't find an exact number online and it took a really long time. So my numbers for the widget, for the small widget was 170 by 170, and this matches the widget number on Handy. Now for the medium widget, which is the horizontal long one, I drew it as 360 by 170 pixel at 300 dpi. On Handy, I was slightly off, so I'm pretty sure the edges got trimmed a little, but they recommend 364 pixels by 170 pixels. So those 2 pixels on each side didn't really matter to me too much. And then for the large widget, I researched and found that it was recommended for 360 by 370 pixels at 300 dpi, but the large widget on Handy has the recommendation of 364 pixels by 170 pixels. So I was also not too far off here. Now for the lock screen images and circles, I did export the variation of my icons without the background, so they have a transparent background, and added them on as the lock screen widgets. I recommend always reusing what you can. That way it is always a little easier for you. Now let's move on to iPad dimensions. So for the icons, they are the same. And for the wallpaper, I choose to draw in 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels at 300 dpi. It's a very large canvas, and the reason I did that is I wanted to make sure it fits for larger devices like my computer and iPad Pros because they tend to be bigger. During my research, I see that the width of a computer can go up to 3840 pixels in some cases. So to be safe, I wanted to make sure it was as large as possible to ensure I can make it as versatile for various devices. Now, the reason why I chose to draw it in a square shape is to make sure that when they flip, it won't cut out anything. The way I set it up is like this. So what I did was basically I screenshotted the dimensions of my iPad in the vertical format and the horizontal format and then center them together. And then I make the square based off of that. I made sure that I only draw within that smaller square where the two vertical and horizontal pictures overlapped each other to make sure I don't lose out on the big details or the important details in my image, and anything that's outside of that small circle would be the less important details or colors that I don't really have to worry about. And basically think of it as like bleed room for your art when you are making the wallpaper. Now for my MacBook, I use the same wallpaper for the lock screen and the home page. I did not have to resize any of my artworks. And then for the icons, you can choose to have a background or a transparent background. I really like the look of the transparent background images for my icon, so I chose to use the transparent icon images. That is all of the information for the dimensions. If you're interested in a tutorial or maybe another video where I go over everything I learned, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I will try to make a video even though I technically just learned this now. But thank you so much again for watching, and I hope you all enjoy the free wallpaper, and please send me images of it if you do use them. Thank you so much. Let me know your feedback. Bye.